Okay, so this demo is going to go over how to create a 2D sprite game. And we're going to start actually by bringing in some stuff, making it function, and then eventually bring in our sprite sheet. So whether you have a sprite sheet or you want to download one, either way, that'll work for this demo. First thing we're going to do is switch. We're going to go to a 2D project, and then we're going to title this 2D sprite, calling this one video demo. And I'm going to hit create project. So here we are. The first thing we're going to do here is we're going to go to edit, and we're going to go down to project settings and then physics 2D. And in physics 2D, what we want to do first is we're going to change our gravity to -30. A little bit heavier. And then from there, we're going to actually go create a platform for ourselves. So what I would recommend doing is just opening up Photoshop. Essentially what you're going to make is something that looks like this. So just basically a box. Any way that you want to do that is fine. So I'm going to go into Photoshop. I would recommend doing this a couple different ways. You could go and just do like an 8x10 file, and then you could just make the box. You can paint it, you can fill it with rock texture, you know, whatever you guys want to do that you think it's going to look good. So I'm just going to do a quick one here, right? Now, the one thing that is important is that you have a clear background, so when you make your new file, it was actually important there that I made it transparent, okay? Now, I'm just going to work with this, and that's fine. The one thing I want to say, I'm just going to deselect Command-D here, is you can export this whole thing, but then you might have some issues because you can see that you have a lot of space there. So one thing I'd recommend is actually cropping this thing down, and I would prefer cropping it down to the actual size of the platform. Now, if you don't do that, I'm going to show you what happens if you don't do that as well. So hit enter, and that crops it, and then I'm just file saving this out as a PNG. If you were working in Illustrator, you'd have to file export it. So get out of Photoshop. And then the nice thing is anytime we bring in sprites or anything like that, so I have a bunch of these in here, I want to bring in the PNG. Anytime I bring these in, it's going to automatically go into my assets. Now I'm probably going to make a new folder here, so create folder. I'm going to call that _sprites and move that guy in there. But the nice thing is that they all come up and they're already workable. Okay, so when I drop this into my space, you can see it's pretty large, so I'm going to go ahead and shrink this down. Now, the fact that this has this border on it, you can see it is going to be a part of the problem. Now, I'll show you what it looks like if I bring it in where it doesn't have that. And in that case, and this is the one that I cropped, this one's already ready to go. I mean, I just need to shrink it down. But other than that, it's ready to roll. So, but I'll show you the difference in how you have to deal with those things. So what we're going to do is going to add box colliders to both of them. Now we're going to start with this one. So add component, and we're going to go box collider 2D. Make sure that is important, box collider 2D. And you don't really need to change anything, okay? You can see that here, the green, if I uncheck this, that green turns on and off. So that box collider is just right on that box, right? What I'm going to do next, though, is I'm going to do this one, and box collider 2D. Now, here's the problem. See how it's actually outside of the box. So what I want to do is hit this edit collider button, move this down and set it exactly on that box. Okay, and then that one's good. And we're ready to roll. So we have our boxes made, and that box collider is then going to allow it, to function without, or I'm sorry, when something hits it, it'll stop. So next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go over here to our hierarchy. We're gonna go create an empty object. Okay, and that object we're gonna call character or player, whatever you want to call it. And then we're going to add a sprite renderer to this character, sprite render. And we're going to add a rigid body 2D. Okay, that's also important, rigid body 2D. And then there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch none to interpolate. Okay, and we're good to go. So I'm going to save this real quick, file, save project, and I'm going to file save scene, and I'm going to save this scene, obviously in my assets for this project, as like video demo screen. We don't have any issues here. The next thing, while this kind of loads, next thing we're going to do is you want to get your sprite sheets ready to go. And these need to be exported as PNG. So this is one that I took off the internet. It's just a monkey, and this is his idle position, basically what he's doing when he's not walking. This was the same monkey I found, but he is, actually that's the idle. I do have the other one. So here is the running version of him where he's actually moving through space. So that's important kind of to note.